Welcome to Subramani. So here is a small story. I was sitting with a client of mine, an extremely rich client, and at the very beginning of my career. And I saw him making some mistakes. He was taking more risks than what I thought he should be taking. I was young, whole of 25 years of age, and I was telling him he's taking too much risk. So, and I was doing it in some kind of a dramatic fashion that I was sitting in the chair, he was sitting opposite to me, and his daughter was sitting there. And so I turned to his daughter and said, please tell him that he's taking too much risk. And he turns to his daughter and says, please tell Mr. Subramaniam, if I had not taken any risk, I would still be a school teacher in Bhuj. That's where he started his life after coming back from Pakistan, coming out of Pakistan as a refugee, right? So that was a very important lesson for me, saying you have to take risk, right? You have to take calculated risk, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. And this is an amazing example from Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx and General Dynamics later on. That he had these numbers are very important. He had $5,000 in his bank account, and he knew he had to make a payment of $24,000 for jet fuel for his plane, and he knew he couldn't make the payment on Monday. So, and this was happening on Friday, and he was told that he can't get any more money from anywhere else. He had put all his personal wealth into the company. He didn't have the cash to pay. So, but on Monday morning, when his manager comes, the manager found $32,000 lying in the bank account, and he asked him from where this money came, and he said, I took a ticket, I went to Las Vegas, I gambled the last $5,000 and won $32,000, and that's lying there. Now, this is typically what only an entrepreneur can do, not typically what an employee can ever think of doing, right? So, I know one guy who had to reach Vapi at a particular time, and the only way he could reach there in time was to take a Rajdhani and do the most unthinkable thing. When he was nearing Vapi, he had to pull the train. Now, that's a criminal offense. I'm not even suggesting that you do that. He pulled the train stopped, he jumped into the darkness and vanished because he had to reach his factory on time. Right or wrong, I don't know, but these are typically things which only entrepreneurs can do. Or rather, you leave your job and you become an entrepreneur and you take such risks. Am I suggesting that you take that risk? No. Am I even thinking that I would take that risk? No. I'm just trying to tell you that many people don't take any risk in their careers, and that can be a very big risk, right? So which means you end up at the age of 45, 50, and you're very frustrated, you're bored, you think your juniors are not respecting you, you're not being paid adequately, and you have no guts to leave and start off on your own. So from your age of 40 to 60, or 42 to 65 or 62, till whatever age you work, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're only happy with the money, but you hate your employer, you hate the circumstances. This risk of being unhappy is not visible. So the risk of not taking risk in your career, to me, I see too many people not willing to take risk. I see people with net worth of 10 crores and 12 crores who will not let their children take risk. Will they allow their child to become let's say a football coach? Right, or something like that in Indian conditions? Answer is no. They'll say, no, I'll pay for your ticket, I'll pay for your seat, you please become an engineer, you do your MBA, you go to USA, you will get your visa, whatever you do, but please don't become a football coach, because I don't think I have the guts to let you become a football coach. So career risk for themselves at least, I can understand that they're afraid, but even when they have money, they will not let their children take career risk. Similarly, in investing, if you have say 1 crore, I'm not saying take a risk on 1 crore, but take a risk on 10 lakhs, take a risk on 5 lakhs, do something, right? See whether you can double your money, see whether you have some of those skills. If you just don't take risk, and then at the end of life, or maybe at the end of your investing life, if you say, I never took risk and that was fantastic, the question is, what happens if you exhaust your money at the age of 78 and then you have to go and live with your kids? Do you want to do that? That is risk. The risk of running out of money during a retirement is risk. I'm not saying everybody needs to take risk, But look at risk. When you're young, you have to take risk. When you're 24 years of age, your father is doing very well. He's a vice president in a bank. Your mother is doing very well. She's a practicing doctor, and you're the only kid. You have enough money from your father's side, from your mother's side. Isn't this a great time to be doing a startup if you have good ideas, or joining a friend who does a startup and becoming his finance head or something like that, or becoming his operations head? Not everybody needs to do a startup, but joining a startup, if you don't take any of those risks, then don't expect any hockey stick kind of a return. That's not going to happen. If all you're going to do is put your money in an index fund and say, oh, I'll get index returns, of course you will get index returns. Is index the way to go when you're 24 years of age? Well, depends on how you look at life, but I wouldn't think so. I would think that's the time to be taking risk. Go and invest in your friend's company, go and do your own startup, go and work with a friend, try to become an influencer, whatever it is. Take some risk, go and meet people, right? Sales jobs will give you a chance to meet a lot of people, join some networks, go and learn public speaking, meet people, take some of those risks, at least start there, if not financial risk. I do not know, but I don't think enough people understand that not taking risk can be a big risk. So you say, I will not take any risk, I'll keep all my money in savings bank account. Great, on the face of it, it looks perfectly good, but you will never have enough money to retire. And all of us have to retire. You retire at 55, you retire at 45, you retire at 65, that's your call. But at some stage, nature will force you to retire because of your physical limitations, mental limitations. Your business will not keep you. Right? I mean, if you're an employee, then 58 could be the cutoff. If you are in business, your children may not want you to be in the business, or you may be forced to sell your business because you're unable to cope up. So after that, what happens? Where will the corpus come from? Right? If you think you're going to get the corpus by selling off your business, well, sometimes the business may not be sellable, right? So then what happens? Or it's not sellable at a price at which you thought you would be able to sell it. Then what happens? So the need to take risk is first to be understood. Only when you understand the need to take risk will you take risk, and not taking risk can be a high risk. So please understand that entrepreneurs are here to take risk. They take some amazingly stupid risk. We see and remember the successful ones, like the FedEx one. But can you imagine you have venture capital money and you run out of money and you take a flight to Las Vegas and lose that? You're going to cut a sorry figure. Are you going to tell them that, look, the last $5,000 I blew it? The success stories is what people remember. The failures people don't remember. To me, it's a very, very risky thing to do something like that. I would never have done it. But the success stories are the ones who did it and were successful, right? So therefore, we talk about it. But understand that taking small risk, which I have done quite a bit. I mean, would I take some money and put it into a share where I think I may or may not get my money back? I have invested in startups. Maybe 15 years back, I put 25,000 in a friend's company. Nothing came back, right? He did something else with his life, but this company just didn't do well. So similarly, you need to take some small risks, and sometimes the payoff can be good, sometimes the payoff can be bad. So you need to see what kind of risk you're taking, understand the risk, see what is the upside, see what is the downside, and then decide at what level you are. But not taking employment risk, like not or saying I will be only in this city, I will not leave Mumbai, or I will not leave Delhi, because ultimately all opportunities are here. Could be completely wrong. Maybe going to Dubai, going to Singapore, going to Hong Kong, going to US. I'm not even suggesting that these are the only things, but in fact I have been telling people that going there is less risky than staying here and doing business. So whatever it is, understand the risk that you should take and understand the regrets that you will have. The downside of risk is not always financial, right? No, I did not take a risk, nothing happened. Yes, of course you did not take a risk, nothing happened, and in your deathbed you're going to say, oh, I had this opportunity and I did not take. Don't do that. Be an entrepreneur, be in service, change your geography, change your careers. You enjoy doing something, do that. You've always been a good writer, write a book, take some risk, do something. And the upside could be, it's not always in terms of money. You could suddenly be a person to whom everybody turns to and said, wow, I'd go to him for some counseling. So something like that. You could become a social celebrity. any of those things. Maybe you should take to acting at a maybe at an older age, something which you always wanted to do. Go there, do it. Take a risk with your time, right? You're 40 years of age, you want to do something on your own, maybe a profession. So quit your job, do your profession. What happens if it doesn't do well? You can always get your job. Remember, till 40, if you have worked and you try your profession for 2 years and it doesn't work, the world would love to take you back, because they always like an entrepreneurial attitude person. You'll get a job back, right? So take some risk, go get some action, and if you're young and if your parents are wealthy, go and join a startup. That's perhaps the best thing you can do. Not joining, you can have regrets. Joining, you take some risk, but sometimes it's worth it. Thank you.